Motormat has tested the Renault Kwid about a year ago in the original format that it came out in, and Renault brought in a little bit of a surprise a few months ago when they launched the AMT automatic version of the Kwid as well. Now, the Kwid is a bit of an enigma on the market for many reasons, and it's created a bit of controversy. But let's look at the fact that it's a neat looking design. They've put the black plastic wheel caps on the car here to give a good contrast. It's got the indicators in the fender, which is a pretty unusual design feature. And you come around to the boot, which in standard form like this takes a very handy 224 litres of boot space, and you can drop the rear seat in a single piece to create about 800 to 900 litres of carrying capacity in the rear if you want to have a two-seater car. So it's got all those features, and it's a fairly nice sized car. Of course, the AMT has the badge saying Easy R. I'm not quite sure what the meaning of Easy R is, but that indicates that you're in the AMT version. The engine is a 3-cylinder 900cc, which certainly isn't a ball of fire, puts out 50 kilowatts, 91 newton meters of torque, but it's more than adequate, isn't it, for general road usage and general around town driving very much in particular, which is where I believe this car is best suited. Let's take a look on the inside and see what features you get in a Kwid. Go. Behind the wheel of the Kwid, it's very much the same as the other model, the existing manual version, but the AMT does have a slightly different routine to starting the car. What you do is you have to have your foot on the brake pedal, you turn the key, you hear a few clicks and clucks and sounds, you wait a few moments, and then you start. What the Kwid has that is amazing and excellent is you do have your digital instrumentation. Okay, it's not massive instrumentation, but the whole digital effect. And of course, the biggest selling point on any Kwid is the touchscreen system with full navigation functionality as well. And at this segment of the market and at this price, I think that is quite amazing that you do get full navigation. You can hear the engine's a bit noisy, but it's not a big deal to me. You come down, air conditioning, very effective, works very well. You've got front electric windows, button over here to lock the doors as simply as that, works very well as well. And then of course the other unique item on the AMT version is this is your gear selector. There's no gear lever in the car of any sort, but you select your gears simply by turning that to reverse or neutral and drive. Simple as that. Beyond that, very standard Kwid fare, Renault fare, driver's airbag, and of course we now come to the points that I'm going to say are where the enigma comes in, because there's no ABS brakes on this car. I could probably live without that. But where I must admit, have an issue is when we discuss facts that the crash testing and integrity of the passenger cell are not of the best on the Renault Kwid. But it is a case of you pays your money and you takes your choice, isn't it? The other feature is, and this is not different or unique to this car, but to any AMT gearbox situation, is you've got to get used to driving an AMT. Because if you don't drive it properly, the gear changes are incredibly jerky, almost uncomfortable, and, well, as I said, similar to other AMTs. But if you get it right with a bit of practice, you literally have to take your foot off the accelerator as the car is shifting, and it smooths out and makes it a lot easier to drive. Something else I have to point out is I tested the manual Kwid about a year ago, and something that really worried me with that car was the lack of stability on a freeway. I'm not sure what Renault have done, whether it was that car or whether they've made some substantial changes to the front suspension and steering, etc. But I can tell you that this time round, I was a lot happier and more comfortable at freeway speeds, at the national speed limit on the freeways. Allowing for the fact that obviously the moment you detect any sort of uphill, obviously the engine is going to struggle a little bit, but that's typical of a 1-litre 3-cylinder with no turbo, isn't it? The other amazing feature is I don't have the equipment to test fuel consumption, and this doesn't have a trip computer, but I can tell you that using the car for freeway and a lot of commuting, I averaged under 6 litres per 100 kilometers, and I certainly wasn't hanging around or driving on an economy run. So I think that's pretty exceptional. But the biggest selling point for the Kwid has to be the price. In AMT, you're talking 146,900 Rand. Under 150,000 for an automatic version, I think is incredible value, with the infotainment system, with the touchscreen, with the navigation thrown in. It certainly sounds like an incredible deal, doesn't it? I cannot, in all honesty, say I'm happy or satisfied with the crash testing results and the safety spec of the car, but that is a choice only you can make. I'm simply stating facts, and it is something that you know when you are going in a car in this price range and in this category. But it is 20,000 Rand cheaper on list price than the next cheapest automatic car available on the South African market. Take that into account. And obviously, that is where buyers are queuing up for Renault Kwids. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor, and I'll see you next time.